here we can see the sort of work that needs doing. It really isn't going to, this can't possibly cost 100 grand. It's just no way. The house next door had theirs done for a tenth of the cost. So why can't we? We went to the LVT because we had a problem getting one of the leaseholders to pay their share for a £12,000 refurbishing job that we were wanted to have done on the building and the exterior and interior.
If you're managing property for people who own a freehold of the building, and you have disputes amongst the shareholders, you can approach the LVT and get them to give a determination as to how things should be sorted out.
Since going to the LVT, they've appointed a managing agent that we probably isn't suitable for the building. In fact, in black and white, not suitable at all. And they've drawn up a specification for the same works, but somehow the quotes have come in at over £100,000, which defies belief.
I've been, or had to go to the LVT for one reason or another on numerous occasions. I don't think, if I remember correctly, that I've ever really had a sensible decision from them.
Leasehold Valuation Tribunal is supposed to be a low-cost, informal tribunal where leaseholders can have their grievances aired and redressed. In fact, it's a very nasty court, as bad as any other court, and the costs are more or less unlimited, although they're supposed to be limited to £500.
If you've got something to put to them, they will want to have what they call a pre-hearing hearing or a pre-trial hearing. And in my view, that's where most disputes or problems, which are really fairly simple, should be resolved immediately. Very often they're not.
The LVT is there to protect leaseholders and to redress their grievances, but unfortunately lawyers have got in on the act, and there are specialist lawyers who should be able to splatter a leaseholder around the court and win a case. This happened with Dennis Jackson.
Over a period of from 2009, we were charged on three years running for the same piece of work, i.e. replacements of the communal carpet, replacements of the answer phone system, at a cost of in excess of £13,000 for each item. And every year we got billed for the same item. Nothing was ever done.
So with a neighbour, he decided to refuse to pay the service charges, and he allowed himself to be taken to the Leasehold Valuation Tribunal.
The managing agent started a case at the LVT for Rosemary and I to recoup the money. It went on for a period of 3 years, and then during that period of time the managing agent ran up legal fees of £132,000, which seemed to be quite excessive because Rosemary's service charge was reduced from £6,000 to £3,000, and mine was reduced from £9,000 to £7,000. So basically they were after us for £10,000 and they'd run up £132,000.
The Ministry of Justice website and the Leasehold Advisory Service has this very misleading information that legal costs are capped at £500 at the Leasehold Valuation Tribunal. It is only capped at £500 in certain circumstances, otherwise they can be unlimited.
The LVT, in all their pamphlets and promotions, say we are a no-cost forum. Each party has to pay their own costs. So we thought, well, that's fair enough. We don't need to represent ourselves because it's going to be a fairly sort of civilised forum. We turned up there to find that the other party had a barrister, a solicitor, an accountant, the managing agent from Tideway, and a clerk. and on the desk everybody had 6 lever arch files. It looked like the whole place was covered in snow. It was just unbelievable, and we were totally overawed by the whole thing.
The barristers will arrive with numerous skeleton arguments. Often they'll present arguments on the day of the hearing, which is a standard legal dodge to obfuscate and confuse lay applicants, and he was totally overwhelmed by it.
The manager from Tideway is a guy called Peter John. He had the audacity to charge his legal costs at £250 an hour to be at the LVT to explain how the service charges came about, which has seemed ludicrous.
I think you do have an awful lot of vested interest, both by managing agents, by lawyers, and so on. I mean, that's their business, if you like. They make their money out of that.
It is supposed to be there to protect you, but leaseholders have very little chance against experienced leasehold barristers who know every inch of this law and legislation. Dennis Jackson had his £800,000 flat forfeited at Wandsworth County Court. This occurred as a result of a leasehold dispute over £7,500 in service charges, which he wasn't prepared to pay.
And when he got to the point where a forfeiture notice was put on my property, that was like I was going to be thrown out in the street with no money, no property, nothing at all, no assets, as a 73-year-old pensioner.
Leaseholders are being let down by the law. Parliament set up the Leasehold Valuation Tribunals to help leaseholders. It has been worked around by freeholders and their lawyers. It is disgraceful that this has happened. It is not illegal, but it is not right.
In fact, towards the end, my neighbour Rosemary Irvine actually died, and we believe a lot of the stress was part of why she died.
The LVT itself should be clearer, simpler, where people come to discuss and look for a sensible compromise solution to the problems which all buildings have. They've all got structural problems, they've all got internal problems, they all need to have carpets renewed every so often, repainting, repairs and so on and so forth. It's not rocket science.
We must return to turn leasehold valuation tribunals into what they should have been at the start, as Parliament intended, which is low-cost, simple redress procedures for leaseholders.
We're not the sheep you used to know. This may be an intellectual blow. People are thinking for themselves, and now they're coming for you, and no one else. Because things are better for you, only better for you.